Today at the centre, we have a very, very excitable Golden Retriever in with us. And the Golden Retriever is in with us for pulling and walking like an absolute nightmare. So when we start our behaviour assessment and modification programme days, we always start by trying to diagnose exactly what's going on. And that's what we've been doing so far this morning. And the beautiful thing is that like most Golden Retrievers, there is not a bad bone in this dog's body. This is a beautifully spirited, high energy, loving Golden Retriever, and all of that energy and love and desire to play and have fun is just overspilling and creating the problems that we're seeing in front of us. The problem is that they're also large, powerful dogs, and it's cute when they're puppies, but when they start to hit this age, it becomes an absolute nightmare. And the reality is although it might not necessarily be a problem for you now, having a dog that pulls, but as I can attest, life gets in the way. Now, I can walk any of my dogs still because they walk beautifully on a loose lead. There is no way that I would be able to walk this dog because it would be incredibly dangerous. So it's important that every single dog learns to walk beautifully on a loose lead, even if they are happy, friendly, loving dogs like our mate here. Now, I won't bore you with all the details, but we do incredibly detailed assessments of the dog's motivation levels, the dog's emotional state, their characteristics, their temperament, so that we have a rock-solid foundation of exactly who this dog is and where these behaviours are coming from. Once we've done that diagnosis, we now move to this stage of the day is where we work on a training plan. What is it that we need to do to be able to help this dog, now we know exactly what's going on, go from this problem behaviour through to the desired outcome? And I'm going to bring you along on that journey to show you what that looks like. So as you can see, this dog just wants to play with Sully, just wants to say hello. He wants to come and say hello to me. But as you can see, it is completely inappropriate. And if we don't get on top of this now, it is only going to get worse and worse. And obviously what we don't want to do is make this dog fearful. We don't want to create any negative connotations to people or other dogs. We want this dog to be who it is, which is a delightful, lovely dog. But we need to get this under control. So what we want to start is a process of helping this dog understand, yes, you can play with other dogs. Yes, you can love on people, but this isn't how you get it. How you get it is exactly what Uncle Sully's doing here. Uncle Sully would really love to go and play with this dog. He's a very playful, friendly dog himself. But he understands that the way he gets that is by sitting and waiting patiently and calmly with good manners. I've not made him scared of other dogs, but I've made him understand how he goes about being able to interact with them. Now, it's easier if you do that from the start, but if you find yourself in a situation like this, it's not difficult. Now, for my behaviour nerds, we're going to be following a program that you would call operant counter conditioning. We want to help this dog go from right now seeing another dog and behaving like this to seeing another dog, but the trigger of another dog or another person creates this behaviour instead. And that is a long process, but we can start that process right here today. And the way that we do that is, first of all, we need to interrupt this behaviour. We have to be able to get the attention back on us as the dog's loving leader so that we can then start that process of redirecting them to the desirable behaviour. Now, what's lovely is if you watch Ben with the dog now, is the dog does have basics in place. It will sit nicely, it will wait nicely. The owners have already done this bit brilliantly. If the dog didn't have that kind of obedience, that is where we'd have to start. We'd start by teaching the things that we do want. Then we can move on to the next step, which is what we're going to be working on today, which is interrupting the bad decision that the dog makes and redirect it to the behavior that we do want, which is going to be this. It's going to be sit, and it's going to be heel, it's going to be walk nicely next to me. So step one is that we're going to move onto a different piece of equipment that's much better suited to a dog like this, that's going to allow us to communicate that to them as effectively as possible from a place of loving leadership. So we'll swap out to exactly what Uncle Sully's on now, which is just going to be a basic slip collar and lead combination, and then we'll be able to get to work. Now, it's worth noting before we dive into this that throughout this process, from now, this dog is never going to get attention from me until it is calm and waiting with good manners. That is going to be a blanket rule that is going to be instilled in this dog from now on. So although this dog is desperate for my attention, again, when it does anything like that, I'm not going to give it to it. But throughout the day, when I find opportunities where it is waiting nicely and sitting down, I'll come up. But as soon as it starts anything like that, we bring that attention away. And we have to do that non-stop forever. So the next step of the process is going to be working on engagement drill. If you've been following me for any amount of time, you'll have seen us do this. We do this with absolutely every single dog that we ever work with. And it's about building that fundamental principle of the dog being able to see us as their loving leader and following us and our guidance and direction. This engagement drill is one of the quickest ways that we can build up that kind of relationship and that kind of engagement. So Ben has popped her on a slip lead, and we're going to swap over to that now. We're going to work through this engagement drill, and because of my current condition, Ben's going to be doing that for us, and I'm going to talk you through exactly what's happening as he goes about doing it. Now, what this isn't is just Ben going back and forward and doing different directional changes. I completely understand that when you see us do that, that is what it might look like. But there is so much going on so quickly that if you get it right, it is absolutely life-changing and revolutionary. So Ben is just going to be moving around, and he's going to start building this principle of whenever Luna kind of disappears from him, he's going to tap on the lead and be able to bring her attention back. Whenever Luna does focus on Ben, she's going to get a treat. Now, we're going to be working with different treats, finding out what works. We want her to be able to kind of eat the treats incredibly quickly. But what we're doing is we're building up this concept of focusing on me will always equal positive things. Focus on me, and that's where the best things in life come from. So when we start out the process like this, it can be very simple, back and forward, Ben really engaging with her and making it as easy as possible. Now that was an absolutely beautiful example there. When Luna got a little bit distracted and she wanted to go and pull towards the cameraman to say hello, Ben used a tiny little bit of pressure. Here's a good example, beautiful, to be able to just say, hey buddy, just a little tap on the shoulder, bring that attention back to me. And that is the essence of this drill. Focus on me, good things happen. Lose your attention, lose your focus. I'm just going to tap, tap, tap and bring that attention back to me. And we turn it into this really fun game, and that's exactly what it should be. As you can see and as you can observe, Luna's happy, that tail's wagging. It's a fun process. And when done right, that's exactly how it should look. And what you're going to start to notice now is that Ben's starting to shape it on his left-hand side, which has this lovely ability of a byproduct of teaching a beautiful loose lead heel. So again, he's going to be keeping her in that position. When she remains in that position, she gets treats. When Ben makes a directional change, if she focuses on him like that, beautiful, she gets a treat. If she loses her attention, she gets a little tap, tap, tap. Now, some dogs have a better ability of taking treats. Some dogs don't. But again, the art of dog training is being able to roll with that. We're not going to provide any kind of pressure to her if she's trying to eat her treat. We're going to be patient. We're going to work with her. Some dogs, this can go a little bit quicker. Other dogs, not necessarily so much. So we're going to work on this process over the next probably hour or so. And the way that we like to work on this, and again, it's different for every dog, but we'll probably do 5 or 10 minutes worth of work, and then we do 15, 20 minutes of what we call decompression. We use the crate for that, and if the dog isn't already crate trained, it's a great time for us to work on crate training with the dog. But we like to have short, sharp, fun sessions, and the first 3 or 4 of these sessions are going to be around this engagement drill. Once we've built that engagement, we can then start to bring the triggers back out. We can use this engagement that we've now built to start this process of counter-conditioning the response of see dog, pull, lunge, go crazy, into see dog, sit, wait patiently, calmly, because that's how I get what I want. So all of the diagnosis and all of the initial training has gone beautifully this morning, and this is where we move into the stage of training where the rubber really meets the road, and we're going to start putting all of these things together. Luna is now beautifully engaged with the handler. She knows that to get what she wants, she has to sit and wait patiently. Again, I've brought my dog Sully back out, and she's much, much better engaged with the handler behind me than, again, she was this morning. We've not changed her desire to want to play with Sully, and she is going to get to play with him today, but we're going to teach her how she goes about getting that. So this is where we need to start putting these things together. So Ben has got her engagement looking absolutely beautiful. She's walking really nicely by his side. We're going to completely shape that into a formal heel as the weeks turn into months. That'll look absolutely perfect. But for right now, it's exactly where we need it to be. We've moved on to a much better piece of equipment that allows us to communicate. Oh, I absolutely love it. It fills me with joy when you see these incredible light bulb transformations start to happen. We are now at a position where we can start reintroducing the trigger. That trigger of another dog or another person used to get her to want to lunge, pull, lose her mind. If that happens now, we have the ability, using our new better communication like that, just to tap her on the shoulder, say, hey, no, Luna, remember, focus on me. When she does that, she's going to get praised and rewarded, and we're going to build up that principle. When she makes a good decision and she looks at Sully, but then just chooses to re-engage back with Ben, she's going to get a big jackpot reward. She's going to get treats. Ben's going to play with her. Again, lovely. She's distracted by people in the background. Just, hey, just a little tap on the shoulder. Bring that attention back to me. With those skill sets, we can now start to introduce different triggers. So far, Sully has been stable, but I'm going to start moving in and around with Ben. And you're going to see as we do some passes that whenever she finishes eating her yummy treats, she's going to be interested in Sully. And just a little tap on the shoulder. Remember, so again, already infinitely better than where we were this morning. But we're going to keep working on this. And I guarantee we will get a moment where she'll make a good decision. She'll look at Sully and she'll go, no, I'm going to come back to my handler. And at that moment, Ben's waiting for that moment so she can get a big yes, a massive amount of praise. Once we start stacking a few of them up, 2 or 3 of them in a row, I'm then going to take Sully off lead and we're going to let them play. And they'll have 2 or 3 minutes worth of play. Then we'll go back to this drill. There, beautiful. Look at that, amazing. So Ben's going to go in with a really nice treat. That gives me goosebumps. And you're watching this unfold in front of you. She saw Sully, but she made the right decision because of our loving leadership and engagement-based training. So again, there's a dog right in front of her, and look at that happy engagement difference onto the handler rather than onto the dog. So as you can see, we've made absolutely incredible progress. And the next step is being able to hand these skills over to the owner, because it's all well and good that me and Ben can do it, but we are trainers with a lot of experience in being able to do this. And it doesn't matter if we can do it, but if we can't pass that skill over to the owners, that is where the magic truly happens, which is what we do in these days. We're now going to have a really nice long consultation that hands these skills over, and then we build a training plan for moving forward over the next few months to not just settle for what is incredible success here, but to keep pushing on, to keep making it as fun and as positive and achieve absolute excellence that this dog is capable of. But if we take a second to go back to the start of the day and look at what this dog was when it came in versus where we've been able to get to in just one day through loving leadership, engagement, and a positive-based, fun approach to building beautiful loose lead walking and a communication pathway that allows us to let them know, hey buddy, remember what we need from you is to do this, is to be this dog. Again, goosebump moment, relax, calm, happy, and trusting in the process. And again, because we've had such huge amounts of success, this is exactly how you go about getting what you want. So if you could take a collar off for me, Ben. You don't get to play with dogs and have fuss and fun by pulling and being a lunatic. You get to do it by this. Break. Good boy. Come on. What a perfect example. Here we go. Uncle Sully will come in and initiate some play. But this is what she wants as she now starts this process of learning that how I get to interact with Uncle Sully and all the other dogs I'm going to encounter in life is exactly what just happened then. I'm going to be relaxed, I'm going to be calm, I'm going to be a well-mannered dog, and I'm going to get to play with all of my mates. So remember, if you're struggling with your dog's behavior, you don't need to, but it all builds on the foundations of loving leadership from you first. Build that engagement, build that communication pathway, and you can have the dream canine companion that you've always wanted.